Good evening, everybody. It's August 17th, 2026. You know what that means. It's time for more Apex to Asphalt. My name is Darryl Kinsey Jr., the host of the show. Lead producer, Christopher Lehman, right there. Take you
Howdy, howdy.
through the weekend that was in motorsports. And we had some great action in the Super Motocross as they are getting close to the end of the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross section of the season. Alex Plow marches one step closer to the championship in Markham. And even year Joey Logano is making his presence felt in NASCAR after a dominating display in Richmond. We're going to get to all of that, but first we're going to take a quick break, pay some bills, and be right back to start the show after this. So tight.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back here on Apex to Asphalt on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Before we get started, it's time to do the weekend wrap-up, and we'll start with NASCAR, where Joey Logano continues his even-year charge with a big win in the Cookout 400 at Richmond. The Penske Racing driver held up a hard charging Chase Briscoe to take his second win of the year, while Austin Cindric, Denny Hamlin, and Chase Elliott rounded out the top five.
And the best show on two wheels headed to the rolling hills of upstate New York for Unadilla. Surprising no one, Cole Davies wins 250s and Jet Lawrence wins 450.
And it wasn't about how you start, it's about how you finish in Markham in Ontario, Canada. And Marcus Ericsson grabbed the win in the inaugural Ontario Honda Dealers Indy at Markham. Romain Grosjean and Will Power came from deep in the field to finish second and third, while championship leader Alex Plow rebounded from a qualifying crash to finish in the fourth spot. And hey, we want to hear from you. Drop a comment or a question during the show, and we will bring it right into the conversation. Later tonight, we're going to get into the big news of the day, which is Connor Zilisch taking over for Alex Bowman as the driver of the Ally 48 in 2028. And the big question, one of the questions around that, Ally is sticking around. Will Red Bull follow him over? And who is going to be in that 88 seat in 2028? There's a couple of interesting names that could be there. We'll talk about that as we get on to the show. But we are going to start, of course, with Super Motocross as the duel to the finish begins. They're heading into Budds Creek this weekend. We already told you what happened in Unadilla. This is how things set up in 250s. Cole Davies, 1 point ahead between him and Levi Kitchens with 2 events left, and Jet Lawrence has a 10-point lead over his brother Hunter and 66 over Deegan in the 450 category. Rolling into my home state in Southern Maryland, which has had a lot of racing attention this year, as you know. 450s is kind of going the way you thought, but 250s, it's a slugfest. And it looks like it's going to be whoever gets the most points over these last two wins the championship.
Yeah. And I would say that it's not a surprise that it's coming down to Levi Kitchen and Cole Davies, to be honest with you. I think they were the Cole Davies was certainly the class of the field in the East, and then Levi Kitchen is your best of the rest when you factor out Deegan in the West. So I don't think it's really a surprise, and I think that Kitchen and Davies are really well matched for each other, and so it's made for a really fun season so far.
And it's a tough track going out there to Budds Creek, Maryland, which ended the season last year as the last race of the season this year, or the traditional end of the Super Motocross Championship. The Ironman in Crawfordsville, Indiana, last year hosted the World Cup of Motocross last season. So a great international honor for them there. This time they will wrap up the Super Motocross season with looks like it's gonna be 2 championship battles. And for Hunter and Jet, we've seen a lot of their battles in 250s. It felt like, Chris, it took us a little while to get to where it is now in 450s, where they are going at each other. And of course, one of the brothers was hurt.
I was just going to say,
that kind of delayed what we thought we were going to see, as these two were going to take over the 450 ranks.
Yeah, and going back to the indoor earlier this year, we had a great 3-way battle for the sorry, I got something on my keyboard. We had a really good 3-way battle for the Supercross with Roxon, Tomac, and Hunter Lawrence. And I feel like we kind of missed out having Jet there. So it's fun to see him back. It's no surprise that he's essentially picked up right where he's left off. So it's fun to see. And I think he will. He's got a 10-point lead over Hunter. Yeah, so I don't see him losing that lead to Hunter, to be honest with you. I think 250s is where it's at over the next 2 weeks to see, as far as like a championship drama, I think it's going to be the 250s.
Well, anything can happen. One of the brothers in 450 hits the ground in one of these motos, and it's a brand new championship.
It is. You're right.
Cole Davies, though, he cannot feel safe going into Budds Creek or the Ironman for that matter, because it is a 1-point lead. That is every position matters territory. So he's going to have to push right to the end. And I think I'd rather be the chaser in this situation than the one being chased, because as if you look at it from Cole Davies' perspective, he's 1 point back, actually, over with Levi Kitchen leading. All Cole Davies has to do is just go for wins. Like, he can force Levi Kitchen into a mistake. Yep. Kitchens has to be more conservative because he has to try to build the lead going into the Ironman. So he might be a little bit more conservative, while Cole Davies, and we saw it during the Supercross season, he will take risks if need be.
Oh, yeah. Look at Philly when it was just such a downpour. Mm-hmm. I mean, he dominated because of his early race just gambles is the best way to put it, because that was a sloppy mud fest. And he just, put the hammer down, and he just hit a rhythm section early in a way that nobody else had, and it was over from there. So I do think it's going to be Davies and Jet that are ultimately our 2 outdoor champions. So, but I don't think. I mean, Davies has won the last 2 in a row. I think he probably wins Budds Creek, and then I think he holds it through the finale.
It'll be awesome to watch. Remember, you can watch the Super Motocross Championship. The balance will be on Peacock. And you can watch that right to the end. And speaking of that, we have the combined point standings now, as we are setting up for that playoff, that Supermoto playoff that starts on September the 12th. Currently your top 20 that are locked in 450, the names at the top, you're not surprised. Hunter Lawrence, Cooper Webb, Jorge Prado, Dylan Ferrandis, Jet Lawrence, 1 through 5, 6 through 10. Garrett Marchbanks, Ken Roxon, your Supercross champion. Justin Cooper, Eli Tomac, and Hayden Deegan. Hayden Deegan, currently third in the outdoor championship. He didn't run any 450 in the Supercross season. Remember, he ran 250 West. They wanted him to get that one more year of seasoning on that 250 bike during the winter months. So he is only, I say, in 10th. But Chris, as I was looking at the standings before we went on, he is in a unique spot to where if Hayden wanted to go for the double, he could, because he is 13th in 250. And we scroll over to the 250 combined points.
And just to
quick
cut in for a second while we're kind of transitioning out of 450s, also huge congratulations to Prado, who did sign a multi-year extension with KTM Red Bull.
Congratulations to him.
So he just inked that this past weekend. So, or this past week, on Friday. So congratulations. He's not going anywhere for multiple years.
And on the 250 side, Hayden Deegan is currently 13th, 233 points. 20th is Max Anstey with 168 points. It's about a 65-point difference. I think there are enough races left to where he will stay into the 250, but as we were talking before the show, we don't think he's going to go on something as adventurous as trying the double in Supercross.
I think he's got, and not, I don't know a better way to put it, but I think he has the arrogance to go for it. Mm-hmm. But I think that his dad is going to be there and say, don't risk it. You made it to where we've planned your whole life to be. Don't risk it now. You got nothing left to prove. You smoked everybody in 250 West, and the only person that ever competed with you really was Davies. You spanked him around most of the time. You got nothing to prove. Just focus on 450s. Get your experience.
Yeah, you just don't want to risk the injury.
Nope.
Going into the season. And they did change the point stand. I mean, they didn't change point standings until like 2024 is the most recent change. So this article should be accurate. So it is 25 down to 0 for 22nd. So it's maximum that can be gained is 50 points by Anstey. So he could stay in to run both, but I don't think he's going to run both.
Yeah, I don't think so.
He's a better man than I if he tries it, though, because I don't think I'd be doing it.
Yeah. Yep, I agree.
So those playoff races, of course, those will be in stadiums. The first one will be at the historic Crew Stadium in Columbus, Ohio on September 12th. On September 19th, we'll transition to Los Angeles, California at Dignity Health Sports Park. And the final run will be at Thunder Ridge Nature Arena in Ridgedale, Missouri for the Super Motocross World Championship Final. And as we've run this season or run this format for a couple of years now, I don't think it replaces the importance of Lucas Oil Pro Motocross or Monster Energy Supercross, but it gives the riders something to run for all season long. It gives them that big payout at the end, and at the end of the day, it keeps Supercross in the racing world's mind's eye deep into the year, because after August you wouldn't see them again until January, and a lot gets forgotten in that time. But now you go into September, you keep the fans more engaged, and it's less of a break before we're back running Supercross in January.
Yeah. Yep, let's not talk about wrapping up the year quite yet, Darryl.
Yeah. Especially with Formula One still trying to figure out how they're going to run their season.
We got too much racing to do to be worrying about January.
Yeah. Somehow, Formula One, by the way, is going to complete their season in December of all time. So,
yeah,
we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, the championship is close, so there's not going to be much reason to stick around that deep into the year. But we're going to transition now into IndyCar and the Grand Prix. In the Honda Indy at Markham. And I don't know if you saw this, Chris, 'cause I know you were, both of us were out of pocket. I was having dinner with the wife down in Richmond. You guys were heading out to the Adirondacks. Friday action in Markham got completely wiped out because the track wasn't ready.
Oh.
I've never heard of that before in my life. And we've had some dubious race sites over the past. They were still trying to put fences up to get tire packs in place, and they had They had planned to run at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock became 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock became 5:30. 5:30 became 10 a.m. on Saturday. But once the race got going, it wasn't bad.
They had some pissed off fans on Friday.
Yeah, they did. I saw a lot of the tweets. They were upset.
I can't imagine. IndyCar probably disabled comments. I would have.
I definitely want to turn the comments off because they were getting chewed up. It speaks to the, and shout out to Freddie B. He's got a family emergency that he's dealing with, so we're sending all our prayers and well wishes to him tonight. He couldn't make it this evening, so we just want to give our well wishes out to him. He's the host of the Raceless podcast and many a show here on iSports Radio. IndyCar has tried a lot of things this year, Chris, and it feels like they've all blown up in their face.
Yep.
You announced the race in DC. We're not even going to talk about the political quagmire of how it got there.
Yep.
We hope it goes better than what happened this week, but given how the other Freedom 250 events have gone, I'm not holding my breath for this weekend, and I'm so glad I'm not going to be there. I'm going out to a Nitro Circus in Annapolis instead. Then they try to do the lead-in with the World Cup final with Nashville, where you have that captive audience. You're going to wrap up the game, go straight into the race, hopefully carry that big number all the way. And the rain gods said, actually, you're not. You're going to race on Monday.
Yep.
And I don't even think we got a ratings number for that. That's how pissed they were.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people try to blame IndyCar for that. Look, if I'm IndyCar and I'm Fox, 10 out of 10 times, I'm doing what they attempted to do.
Without a doubt.
Which was go out there, get the biggest lead in you will see in your life, which is the World Cup final. And it just didn't work. And now you come to Markham. They don't have the track ready on Friday. The way the walls were structured led to several big accidents. I know Joseph Newgarden and Alex Palou hit the wall in qualifying. Louis Foster, who had a great weekend to start, was trying to make a pass, clipped the inside wall, hit the wall, and hit the outside wall in turn 4 pretty bad. He was not happy about that either. Was very critical of the track construction in his post-race comments. But I don't think, have you gone on Twitter at all and seen the video about the chaos that was the turn 15 hairpin?
I saw some things, yes, and it was gloriously terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was, the clips are kind of funny.
For those that didn't watch the race, it is a 2-lane highway. It looks like it's at the junction of a highway split, is the best way I can explain it. And they put the wall straight up the middle of it. Well, going into the turn on the right side, it is a normal street course width. The left side, you could put an IndyCar hauler sideways and it wouldn't touch the outside wall.
Yeah.
So these guys are trying to figure out how exactly to cut the radius of this corner. It led to a pretty big wreck in Indy Next, if I remember correctly.
I don't think anybody really figured out a good way to get through it.
No, they just kind of turned left and hoped for the best. There was a couple of contact points. I know Alex Palou and Alexander Rossi made contact, ended up cutting down Rossi's tire and led for some hurt feelings between Rossi and Palou, but the race was okay from the highlights I watched this morning, but man, they've got some work to do on track construction for next year and timing for next year as well, because that's embarrassing that they didn't have the track ready on time.
Yeah, absolutely. I did not know about the Friday deal. We had ended up leaving Friday kind of midday, so and then we didn't get back till late Sunday night. So, but I did see a couple clips, and it was pretty funny. But I did not know about the Friday deal. That's kind of, I would say, that's bordering on unacceptable.
Yeah. We, for our part of it, we left at about 2:00, got down to Richmond about 6. So we were having dinner while the storm was going on down there. I don't think you saw what happened with the truck race, but
no,
it was a comedy of errors, and we'll get to more of that once we get to the NASCAR section and talk about my weekend that was. By the way, shout out to Xfinity Racing for hooking us up with some cards. And folks, check your Twitter messages, because I'm gonna take host privilege to jump ahead a minute, because I gotta tell on myself. I haven't been on Twitter much lately, as you've seen. I've just been busy with work and, well, Twitter. Well, when you don't do that, you sometimes block your blessings, because Xfinity Racing reached out to me on Monday, trying to give away some VIP passes, some pit passes. Guess when I saw it? During the race.
Jeez.
Check your Twitter messages, everybody.
I did.
Yeah.
Xfinity
Racing has been good to NASCAR. They longtime sponsors of the Xfinity Series. They hooked up my best friend and I a couple of years ago with some pit passes at Daytona. So I've worked with them. I'll talk more about, not really worked with them, but I have been at the receiving end of their hospitality many times before. Personally, we do not have Xfinity in the house, but they are a great NASCAR sponsor. So I will support them anytime I can and shout them out anytime I can. And they are, of course, Bubba's sponsor right now. And yeah. Don't do what I did, kids, because you'll block your blessings that way. But
the only people in my DMs are crypto bros who aren't actually crypto bros, and then the chat bots that are 18 plus that try to get you to buy into that crap.
Yeah, I don't get many of those, thank God. I don't know why.
I close my DMs, so I don't get them anymore.
Yeah. Sometimes it's for the best. IndyCar results look a little like this, as we said. Harrison, Grosjean, Will Power, your top three. Alex Palou, just a workman's effort for fourth. Didn't lead a lap all day, but gets the points needed to extend his championship. And we've run out of superlatives to talk about him. He builds on Kyle Kirkwood to 133-point lead as we go into the final stanza of the season. And I think you can start saying that Palou is going to be your champion. I think unless there's a almighty collapse, which it's racing, anything can happen.
Yep.
But with 4 to go, I think he'd have to not show up at this point.
Yep. I would have to agree.
So they are coming to DC on Sunday. We have mentioned at length the controversy around that. We talked about it at the start of the year when the race was announced. That controversy has only gotten worse with what has happened in the geopolitical sphere, which we are not going to get into tonight. You know what it is. There are much better podcasters and TikTokers than us. They're going to talk about that on a Monday night. I hope the event goes well for the people that are going. I will say it like that and leave it alone from that side of it. Staying on the motorsports side of it, this is a new track that they didn't even know they were coming to until like, what was that, like March of this year? Like the season already started?
Yeah. I think we already had a race or two under our belt.
Yeah, we were trucking along towards Indy when that got announced, if I remember correctly.
The finalization of it, at least. The teams might probably maybe knew ahead of time, but public announcements didn't come till later.
Yeah, we didn't know till much later. So the race is only 2 days, so it's really going to be a condensed schedule. They're not going to have the Friday to get things done because people are still working down here. It's going to be interesting how this goes if a non-American wins. This is IndyCar. It is very possible.
Yep.
Particularly with who's good on street courses.
Yep.
But this is going to be a race where everybody's equal in they don't know the track.
Yep.
And and it's going to be 250 miles on a street course. So they're going to get their workout. And there's going to be some great views. I hope the logistics are taken care of as far as food and everything and transportation, which, look, Metro at the best of times is... Metro is a good system, but there is a major closure on the red line right now as they're doing summer track work. And that's going to hamstring getting in and out of the city. But at the end of the day, it's IndyCar. It is in DC. Hopefully this comes back next year and to the future in a non-political leading way. And we'll leave it at that. But I'm excited to see how this goes. I will be tuning in from afar, but to the folks that are going, have a lot of fun.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yep. So everything will be on Saturday. Practice 1 and 2 will be at 9 and 1 p.m. Eastern. They will qualify at 5 o'clock. 9 o'clock will be the warm-up. The race will get started at 1. It is IndyCar. And the IROC Series will have 2 45-minute races there. Jeff Gordon will be in competition for those races. And that is your weekend racing in Washington, D.C.
Exciting.
Yeah. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get into NASCAR, the weekend that was in Richmond. Talk about how it looked from the stands and why, and we're going to get into our conversation on what's going to happen with Trackhouse in the 88 going forward. We're going to take a break here on Apex Asphalt on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back.
Is made from the stadium lights to the stadium shade. every minor league season. For the latest in the California League with Larry B and Freddie B on IE Sports Radio. Keep that dirt flying, and we'll see you next pitch.
And we're back on Apex to Asphalt on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Check out Dirt to Diamonds. It also airs on Monday right here on Apex to Asphalt. Or sorry, on iSports Radio here on YouTube and Twitter as well. Let's go ahead and get into the weekend that was in Richmond. Again, before we go on, another shout out to Xfinity Racing, who hooked us up with some trading cards for Bubba Wallace, and unfortunately I blocked my own blessings, as I said earlier, but got some Twitter exposure as well as the Bubba gang was in full force hoping to see the 23 kind of right the wrongs of last season. Is actually, there is the photo we took with Xfinity Racing, with the cards that they handed out with us in the Toyota fan zone. So thanks to them. It was a great weekend.
Is that Phil?
Richmond. Yes, that's Phil Stain, Sarah Davis. Good friend of mine, Lux, Isaiah. I unfortunately don't remember the two gentlemen's names to the left, but we were hanging out for most of that Saturday. We talked to Kelly Crandall of Racer.com fame.
Yeah,
had a great 30-minute conversation with her about all things NASCAR. But being back at the racetrack, I think it's been about 6 years since I've been to a NASCAR race, and I'm trying to make that less windows between going to the races. You miss how it is joining with NASCAR Nation, mourning Kyle Busch together, as I saw his face on the side of the RCR trailer and teared up again, you know?
yeah.
It's been, you know, he passed in May, and I'm getting teared up now. It's just still hard to come to grips with. You know, everybody held up 8 on lap 8 in the grandstands for Kyle. They had the memorial picture that they've been using for him up on the screen at the racetrack as well once the race got started. And it just shows how all of NASCAR Nation is still hurting with the loss of Kyle Busch. But at the racetrack, we got there on Saturday at about 12. The truck race, which got rain delayed. And I know we always hear about the 40% chance of rain and, oh, what does that mean? Well, Chris, we got a crash course in what that means because we were at dinner at a great place called Taz's down in Scott's Addition. Go check it out. The food was amazing. My wife had a pizza. I had a cheeseburger, and it was... Our plates are empty in 30 seconds. Go check them out. Shameless plug. You go to... We're parking the car. We see the lightning going in the direction of the racetrack. And the racetrack is 15 minutes away from where we were. We were seeing the lightning. We weren't getting the rain. They were getting a downpour at the racetrack. Like, it was crazy how we could see them getting pelted and just nothing was happening. A couple of sprinkles. That's it. But so they ran the truck race at on 12:10 or sorry, at on Saturday morning at noon. We actually could hear it while we were outside the racetrack in the fan zone. They had the TV set up so you could see it in the NASCAR experience. We watched it for a little bit. But once the racing got going, actually, before we get to there, it's funny when you're there because they said it was a sellout, and I could tell because it started building up with the fans. We got there about 12:10. There's a couple of people milling about. By 2-3 o'clock, the fan zone was at critical mass. Like, it was packed in there. And traffic, I'm so glad we beat it coming in because there was a friend of ours who tried to come in at normal time. And he was stuck in that line trying to get in for 2 hours That's how bad it was. Now, I know you've been to Watkins Glen. Do they get the bad traffic lines up there? Because the one thing I will say about all these NASCAR tracks, a lot of them are in places where the road infrastructure does not fit the amount of fans that are coming in for that day.
So we, like when I was growing up, we always camped. So it really, the camping is all, like our campsite was the 30 feet away from the track, 40 feet away from the track. So, I mean, we never had to deal with traffic queues or anything like that. But before COVID, my wife and I went down just on a day pass, and we were in traffic for maybe 20 minutes, which, as a recent experiencer of the BWE, 20 minutes is like nothing. But for where I live, 20 minutes is like ripping your hair out, wondering what is going on type of deal. Yeah. So that's where I come from, Darryl. So for me, realistically, if I'm stuck in traffic for more than about 10 minutes, I'm starting to get really like kind of pissed off.
You would not enjoy 495 in rush hour.
Yeah. It just comes with living in rural setting. I mean, we just don't get traffic.
Yeah, y'all don't have it up there.
Yeah, so that being said, like standstill traffic is just like, we only had like 20 minutes of it because I remember it didn't ruin my day. If it was like an hour, I probably would have been like day ruin type deal. But they have good infrastructure. And we parked pretty close to the track despite not getting there as early as I had wanted to.
Yeah, as far as I got the premium parking, so we pulled in
big
right
shot
there in lot 2. It's just, I know how it is with with trying to get in and out of that place, and I'm like, let me pay for the parking to just get in right there at the fan zone, and I'll deal with getting out because I'm not in a rush to get out the racetrack anyway. So, shout out though to the Richmond track staff. I can tell this story now because it has a happy ending. At some point, I put my camera bag down and forgot about it. Unfortunately, I walked away and didn't remember it until I'm going back towards the gate to go into the fan zone. Or sorry, to go into the infield fan zone area 2 hours after I put it down. Somebody found the camera, handed it over to staff at Richmond Raceway, and they managed to get it back to the lost and found, and I was able to pick it up on Sunday morning. So thank you to the Richmond Raceway staff, and whoever turned in the camera, you are a saint, and a thumbs up here at Apex to Asphalt, because you really saved my weekend. But the build-up was great, and once we got into the race, at least from where I was sitting, was some good action. The Trackhouse cars, Connor Zilic and Shane Van Gisbergen, tried to make the extreme high line at Richmond work. I had never really seen that in person off turn 3 and 4, but there was some good 2 and 3 wide racing, and tire wear really mattered during the race, which is something that is amazing to see in real life, because you would have guys who were 3 seconds off the pace. They come down and get tires, and it's like the rest of the field is standing still. So you had to play the tire game, whether you're going to try to run long and do to the stage in 2 stops or cut it into thirds. I know the first stage, they all cut it into thirds, but it was probably better than what they showed on TV. Because they can't show you everything on TV. Denny Hamlin got into it with Ryan Blaney at one point. I think that ended up on TV. He also moved Chase Elliott out the way to get a spot. So It was a fun night at Richmond, and Joey Logano, as I said, picks up the win. And Chris, it's looking like early year Joey Logano is loading up for a championship run. He has been on it the second half of the season.
Yeah, in the first half of the season, we were wondering what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, he was just nowhere. Probably the first, I would say, probably good 8 to 10 weeks. He was just nowhere, and then he just had a resurgence. It's been wild to kind of see happen. I feel like his average finish was mid-20s through the first couple of races.
And it kind of combined with the fact that Ford was slow off the jump in NASCAR. They definitely did not have the same success at the start of the year as their comrades in supercars. But as we've gone into the second half of the season, they figured some stuff out with the handling of those cars. And you've seen their speed start to come back a little bit. And with that speed coming back, Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano have been right back in it once again.
Yeah.
So they're peaking at the right time. But I think the story of the regular season continues to be this implosion of Tyler Reddick. At some point, we thought he was going to win the regular season championship going away. Has a poor qualifying effort on Friday. Manages to rally back to 11th. Reddick has not recorded back-to-back top 5 since late May when he was 4th and 5th. Sorry, back-to-back top 10s since late May when he was 4th in Charlotte, 6th at Nashville. He was leading the championship by 150 points.
Yep.
At one juncture. He's now 138 back. Do we still think he has a chance at the championship?
I'll never say never. Especially with the chase format. You know, if you come out swinging in the first race and you carry some momentum, I think it could carry you. But he will have to be nearly flawless.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think NASCAR did enough to reward the regular season points leader.
I think the gap needs to be bigger.
They only got like 25 points, right?
Yeah, I think it needs to be 50. I
thought it should be 50 or 75. It needs to be a full race mulligan.
Yeah, I think 75 is pushing it, but 50 I think is that.
I don't think so.
Sweet number.
I think 75 is good because I think it should be the regular season champions to lose, not necessarily like anyone's to win, but it should be the regular season champions to lose. And that's where 75 points gives you a mulligan. So if you get spun out, wrecked, or whatever, you still have, in theory, you have a points cushion to cover that, which you should. And then that also gives you another half a race. But if you're as good as your regular season was, it shouldn't even matter.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen that at the minimum been a full race bonus over anybody else.
Mm-hmm. I definitely think the bonus needs to be bigger.
Yeah.
Because I think 25 is too low. 50 I think is in the sweet spot. I know 75% would be a big boost because you have 2 good races and you're sailing to the championship. Well, as we said that, again, Tyler Reddick comes back because he was up to a 100-point lead. Now he's 4th.
Yeah.
So it's not like that big lead can, especially in this points championship. And now that I'm thinking about it, I think it's like 73 it's damn near 80 points for a win. If you max it out, if you win both stages, and then with the increased points for winning. So that's 75-point advantage. You miss a race and have a bad one as that championship contender, or as that regular season champion with that 75-point bonus, and somebody behind you dominates a weekend, they're right in it.
That's what I'm saying.
So maybe 75. I'm starting to come around to the 75 now.
At the minimum, it should be a max points for one race bonus. Like that should be the minimum.
Yeah.
And then you work from there. But only 25 points, that doesn't mean anything. Especially over the course of 10 races, that doesn't mean anything. 25 points is nothing.
That's barely a stage. No, that's barely 2 stages, really.
Yeah. It's not significant enough. It's not at all significant enough.
Well, no, it's not barely 2 stages. It's like 2 stages and then like a top 5.
Yeah. But 25 points is just not enough.
No, they need to I definitely need to bump it, but right now it's like Denny Hamlin's going to get that boost. Whether it's enough or not, we'll find out. Of course, the question always will be with Denny Hamlin is he's got the momentum. Can he carry it to the finish? Something always gets in the way. But I think this year, with everything that's happened in the offseason, will be enough to carry it. As again, the last 2 races will be New Hampshire and Daytona to wrap up the regular season.
Yep.
And no one back there, 14th through 20th, is safe. You cannot have a DNF because, especially at Daytona, you get caught up in the big one, and one of the guys that is behind you in the points, let's say you're, perfect example of Bubba Wallace, who's still having an inconsistent season. You get caught up in a wreck early, and let's say we go down there, a Ross Chastain uncorks one, you're out of the playoffs. I mean, you're out of the chase. So It is not a done deal when we get to Daytona at all. I think you're going to have to get through some stages before you can say whether or not you are in as far as Daytona.
Yeah.
But of course, as we said, the big news today broke around lunchtime. Connor Zilic will not be returning to Trackhouse when his contract expires in 2027. He will be moving over to Hendrick Motorsports to join, to run the 48 with Ally. I'm hoping we see a Red Bull Ally paint scheme. The thing is, Hendrick can be picky with who they work with, but Red Bull has been a long-time personal sponsor of Zilic. I think if they bring enough money, Rick will let them in.
My guess is they'll stay on as a personal, but I don't know that they get on the car. Short of like a contingency. I don't think we're going to get a Red Bull full car.
Mm-hmm.
Though it would be interesting to see like a Red Bull Ally mashup.
I think it will look good.
I think it would too.
Hendrick's paint designers,
like
outside
Red Bull,
of a few notable designers, don't miss.
Yeah, and Red Bull has shown a tendency to allow their colors, different colors on their logo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like for instance, you know, this guy here, like the red. You know what I mean?
That.
Like, yeah, that's awesome. But they'll do different colors, so I would love to see like a purple Red Bull car.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be like an Ally Red Bull car. That'd be pretty sweet.
I would love to see that. Somebody actually did a mock-up of Zilic running essentially a throwback Red Bull scheme back to the original Red Bull racing days. It looks good, but
yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see how he runs over there, because we know that it has not been great this run with Trackhouse. That team has struggled mightily, and I think Zilic saw the tea leaves and said, I got to make a move for my career. And it brings up some questions about what the future with Trackhouse is. There was a rumor that they would look to sell that 88 charter. Justin Marks shut that down, which means there's an open cup seat for 2028, and you've got some names that could fit in that seat in the Cup. Caden Honeycutt, I know he's in the Toyota pipeline right now, but it doesn't look like there's any open spots. Could he be one of their drivers to jump over for a chance in the Cup Series? Raja Karuth is already at Hendrick. Maybe they work out something where he goes over and runs that 88 for Trackhouse. In the same vein, Corey Day. Do they put him over there to get some Cup experience until Kyle Larson retires and he takes over the 5? There's a lot of names in Xfinity and Truck that you're going to see linked to that spot going into 2028. Some of it, though, is going to matter in who's got some of that.
Yeah.
Meaning the money with the sponsorship game.
I mean, we can't show this because we'd get taken down pretty quick, but I just popped into Gemini, can you mock up a couple Ally 48 with Red Bull?
Mm-hmm.
And Gemini did some pretty good work. I kind of dig it, to be honest with you. I'm going to send you a picture on to your phone because I can give it to you. But the one in the back, if they ran the one, it did 3. And ooh, that thing is fire. Sorry.
I'll check it out here. So who do you think has the best chance at landing that 88 seat?
I want it to be Caruth.
Yeah.
I would really like it to be Caruth. The probability on that is who knows, but I think Caruth is kind of, if you're looking for, you need to replace what was going to be your future, because Zilich was kind of their young gun, and Honeycutt's a good option. I mean, there's obviously a couple good options through Trucks and Xfinity, but I kind of like Caruth. I think he's really marketable because I think he carries himself really well. He understands social media and younger generation fan engagement. So Trackhouse is kind of marketed themselves as kind of breaking the mold almost. So Caruth kind of fits in with that. He's, he backs up everything off the track with, on track results that are respectable. So if I'm Justin Marks, me personally, I think Caruth would be at the top of my list, but honestly, there's a couple guys where I don't think you can go wrong. Trackhouse has got the money to go grab basically anyone they want.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like to see it be Caruth.
I would love for it also to be Caruth. It gets us two, biased wise, it's 2 black guys in the Cup Series. We've never had that happen. It'd be a great story. And they're 2 guys in decent teams. Or not even decent, well, a good team in 2311 and a team that I think can get back up there in Trackhouse. It'll be great to see. We've seen Raja's runs when he is in the 88 with good equipment. He can be a consistent top 10 driver. Unfortunately, half of his races this year were spent in the 32 for Jordan Anderson, which, no shame to Jordan Anderson, but there's a difference between Junior Motorsports Xfinity car or O'Reilly cars and between Junior Motorsports and Jordan Anderson O'Reilly cars are 2 different machines and do 2 different sides of the field. So hopefully Raja can capitalize and get in. He's only 14 points back of a playoff run, but I would be looking at this next 18 months as a potential audition to get to a cup ride in 2028, because there's one open and it's a good one.
Yep. And I don't know how long it will be until Trackhouse signs somebody. I don't know if they're going to want to go into this year or kind of at the conclusion of the 2026 year. I wonder if they'll want somebody announced before 2027 starts. So, it might be your audition is the next 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
Or sorry, not 4 months. Well, 3 anyway. But I wouldn't be surprised to see them want to have their guy named by, the end of the calendar year.
I would definitely be putting my name in the hat, and I'd definitely be making a call if I'm trying to get to Cup in 2028. I would definitely be ringing to see how I can get it done.
Yeah.
So we are nearing the end.
You're not gonna read my joke, are you?
I'm gonna get there. So we're nearing the end of the show. Formula One is on its way back. The last Dutch Grand Prix for now will be in Zandvoort, and Chris has one message for Red Bull: please cook with Max's car when you guys get there.
Yes.
So
It's a plea. Please. Let him win his final home Grand Prix.
it would be nice. So they will be back this Sunday at 9 a.m. The mascot at Mascot Circuit Zandvoort. So the track has its own little sponsor now. But that will do it for this episode of Apex to Asphalt. Chris, any final thoughts?
I think it was really nice of Kyle Larson to agree to stop using the number 5 per the wishes of Jaden Daniels.
Oh, I'll be so glad when we start football. That is such a...
I want to know who on his team didn't slap him when he thought of that.
I don't know if it was him. I don't know how this happened, and I just have not paid attention. It's not going to matter if he's throwing touchdowns. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's your QB, though.
Yeah.
I mean, what is...
Clearly, there is something going on there with him and Lane Kiffin. And I think Jaden was told something by the previous administration that clearly Lane is not doing or is not going to honor, and then putting everybody in the 5 jerseys at practice to take a shot at a former LSU player just doesn't look great on his side, to be honest. No one looks good coming out of that. But nobody's going to care in a couple of weeks about this.
Yeah. My only caveat would be Joe Burrow's number is not retired, and he won a Natty and a Heisman.
Yes.
Daniels, stay in your lane.
Well, their seasons were comparable, but that's we'll leave that one for 3 and out. But
yeah.
Chris, what they got to do tonight?
Let's go duke it out over there. Larry, invite us.
Yes.
We got to fight. Well, enjoy your week. Formula One is back. The summer break is over, so we will enjoy probably seeing Kimi Antonelli win his first Formula One championship of what I suspect it will be 2 or 3 over the course of his career. But in the meantime, a little bit closer to now, don't forget to brush your teeth tonight before you go to bed.
That's it for this edition of Apex to Asphalt. For Chris, I'm Darryl. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys next week.